AITA for cutting off my mom after she tried to secretly take custody of my son because she thinks I'm not a good enough mother. I'm a 28-year-old single mom to my amazing 5-year-old son, Jake. He's my whole world. His dad dipped out while I was pregnant and hasn't been involved at all. No calls, no visits, not even a birthday card. So it's been just the two of us. And for the most part, we've been doing okay. I work full-time, have a nanny I trust, and my son is happy, healthy, and thriving. Until recently, my mom, 60F, was also a big part of our lives. She helped babysit from time to time, came over often, and doted on Jake like a second parent. At first, I was grateful. Raising a kid alone isn't easy, and having family support made it feel a little less lonely. But over time, her behavior has shifted from helpful to intrusive, controlling. And now, I feel like I'm living in a nightmare I never saw coming. To give some context, my mom hasn't always been the easiest person. She's always had a controlling streak, picking out my clothes well into high school, reading my diary to keep me safe, making passive-aggressive comments anytime I made decisions she didn't agree with. But I chalked a lot of it up to her being a single mom herself. My dad was barely around her in my childhood and doing her best. Then, when I was 15, something tragic happened that I think changed her forever. She was pregnant again, unexpectedly, and late into the pregnancy, the baby was stillborn. It devastated her. I remember hearing her sobbing through the walls at night, clutching the blanket she had bought for the baby. She never really recovered from that loss. Afterward, she became even more overprotective of me. It was suffocating, but I tried to be patient. She had gone through hell, and I thought, maybe this is just her way of coping. Fast forward to 5 years ago when I had Jake. My pregnancy was unplanned, but I knew right away that I wanted to keep him. My mom's reaction was mixed. On one hand, she was thrilled to be a grandmother. On the other, she slipped right back into her hyper-controlling tendencies. Only now it was with my child. At first, it was small things. She'd buy him clothes and toys constantly. Way more than necessary, but okay, that's what grandparents do, right? Then it was her suggesting I change his pediatrician to one she picked. I declined. She pouted for weeks. One time, she showed up with a brand new crib for Jake when I'd already bought one. When I said, "Mom, I already have one," she told me, "This one's better. Yours looks cheap." I brushed it off as her being opinionated and overly involved. I was trying to keep the peace for Jake's sake. But over the past year, things escalated. Rapidly. It started with her taking Jake for what I thought was a normal weekend visit. I picked him up Sunday evening, and he came home with a fresh haircut. At first, I thought maybe he'd ask for it. But no, my mom had just decided to take him to her barber and get it styled the way she liked. It wasn't even a bad haircut. He looked cute. But the point was, she didn't ask me. At all. When I confronted her, she was so dismissive. "I thought you'd like it. He looks so handsome now." I told her, clearly, that I need to be consulted before she makes decisions about Jake. She just waved me off and said, "You're overreacting. It's just a haircut." That same month, she started talking to Jake about schools. I had already done my research and chosen a public kindergarten nearby with great reviews and a nurturing environment. But apparently, that wasn't good enough for her. She took it upon herself to enroll him in a private kindergarten behind my back. She filled out the paperwork, paid the deposit, and then called to tell me how excited she was for him to start. I was livid. I told her that she was completely out of line and that she had no right to make that decision. She accused me of limiting his potential by not giving him the best education possible. When I told her I'd already picked a school, she had the audacity to say, "You always make poor decisions when you're emotional." I should have seen the writing on the wall then. But part of me still wanted to believe that she was just overstepping out of love, not malice. Then, a few weeks later, Jake came home from another visit and casually told me, "Grandma says I can live with her if I want. She has a big house and lots of toys." I froze. I asked him to repeat it. He said it again, like it was no big deal. "She says I don't have to be with you all the time if I don't want to." I asked if Grandma had said anything else, and he shrugged and said, "She said she'd take care of me better because you're always busy." I was shaking. I called my mom immediately and demanded an explanation. She laughed and said it was just a joke. He misunderstood. "You're being paranoid." But it didn't feel like a joke. It felt like a manipulation. After that, I limited Jake's time with her. No more overnights. Supervised visits only. I told her we needed boundaries, that her behavior was unacceptable. She cried, guilt-tripped me, told me I was being cruel. I didn't budge. And then, last week, everything came crashing down. I got home from work to find a letter taped to my door. At first, I thought it was junk mail or some ad, but it was a legal notice. My mother had filed for custody of Jake. Let me say that again. My mom is trying to take my son away from me. She filed a motion claiming that I'm an unfit mother, that I work too much, that I neglect Jake by leaving him with a nanny, that I'm emotionally unstable, that he's in danger under my care. She even cited unsafe living conditions because I live in a 2-bedroom apartment instead of a house. I sat on the floor and sobbed. I couldn't believe it. My own mother, the woman who raised me, thinks I'm so unworthy as a parent that she wants to erase me from my son's life. I called her, more like screamed at her, and asked what the hell she was doing. She told me she's doing what's best for Jake, that she has the space, the money, the resources, that he deserves more than being raised by a stressed-out single mom. I told her she was delusional, that she had officially lost her mind. I told her I would fight her with everything I had and that she would never get custody of my son. She called me selfish, told me I was choosing my pride over what's best for Jake, that I'm too emotional to make rational decisions. I've hired a lawyer. Luckily, she says my mom doesn't have much of a case. Jake is well-fed, loved, healthy. He has a safe home. I have income. I've never had a CPS case, never been in trouble with the law, and there's no evidence of any kind of abuse or neglect. The judge will see through her lies. But emotionally, I'm a wreck. I don't sleep. I check Jake's room 10 times a night to make sure he's still there. Every time I get a call from an unknown number, I panic. I never thought I'd have to defend my right to keep my own child, especially not from my mother. I've cut off all contact with her. She's blocked on everything. I've told my dad, who's still in contact with her, that she's not allowed near Jake. I've spoken to Jake's school and nanny about the situation. They know not to release him to anyone but me. Some of my friends think I should try to mend things. That Jake loves his grandma, and I shouldn't deprive him of that relationship. That maybe she's just grieving or lonely and didn't mean to take it this far. But others, especially my single mom friends, say she's crossed a line that can't be uncrossed. That trying to steal your child is the ultimate betrayal. I feel stuck. I hate that it's come to this, but I genuinely don't think I can ever trust her again. She looked me in the eye and told me she would take my son. I don't know how to come back from that. So, Reddit, AITA for cutting her off completely?